Hey, what's good, everyone? It's South Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. So good to be back, guys. I'm back, guys. I'm sorry about the absence of Chatterbox recently, but obviously I've been working on different material and trying to improve the channel as we go on. I hope you all can hear me clearly, guys. Hope everything is clear and as day to you guys. Of course, very important, of course, guys. But thank you so much for joining me this morning. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, let's get straight into it. Obviously, we've had the bad news about Ahmad, which occurred yesterday. You know what? Man United can't catch a break. And I would say this, right? I know we're all disappointed. I know that we're all like throwing the league in the bin and some people are giving up already, unfortunately. But I would say this, look, you know what? With every little adversity, there's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel in regard to some aspect, in regards to bringing through the youth players. I mean, we've been hearing for the last few weeks about Chido Obi-Martin and Kone and Fletcher and, you know, these players who are very good or coming off the conveyor belt. Some saying the best since class 92. So, you know what? With these injuries, it does give an opportunity for some of these players to play. And that is important, of course, because we've been hearing about these young players. And we, as Man United fans, we always have to believe in our youth. Our youth, courage and success is our slogan. That's our slogan. And you know, we always should abide by that. Now, look, I'm not saying that, you know what, it's ideal that we've got the likes of Ahmad and Mainu injured. And, you know, we've got Anthony and Rashford on loan. And, you know, we're in a bit of a pickle. We are in a bit of a problem at the moment. Ugate's also gone. You know, so at the end of the day, look, what can we do apart from just think, you know what, maybe some of these players, they'll get their opportunity. Maybe some of these players will finally get a chance to shine. You know what I mean? Maybe some of these players will come in and become the next best thing. A bit like what Garnacho and Mainu did. You know, they shined and they showed themselves. And, you know, you never know what can happen when injuries occur in football, you know, because you might bring through the next star. You know what I mean? I mean, I was around. Unfortunately, I was around when Manchester United sold the likes of Mark Hughes, of course, and got rid of serial winners, Kanchelskis and Ince in that team, and then brought in David Beckham, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes. And I was like, who the hell are these guys? We're going to get relegated and stuff like that. People were talking like that. I wasn't. But people were talking like that at the time, that we're going to get relegated. But you know what? We all know what happened. I know that this is a completely different scenario in regards to we are forced for this to happen. We're forced. But how did Marcus Rashford become Marcus Rashford? I mean, I'm talking about the Marcus Rashford who burst onto the scene and scored all those goals. It's because of the injuries to Wilson and Martial. That's why he became a star. You know, sometimes, you know, when these things happen, you know, a positive can occur. A positive can, I'm not saying it will. I'm not sure whether Ruben Amorim is going to play any youngsters in the team. He probably will play Eriksen and Casemiro and these players, but it does give an opportunity for some of those players to come off from the bench. And that I'm excited about and positive about. Let's get to some of your comments, guys, real quickly. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see Sanjay back in the house, of course, guys. Really good to see you. Absolutely. Big up, Lumen. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see Lumen, of course. Good to see you, of course. Hit the lights, big up Rasta. Big up Rasta. Hope you're doing well, brother. No Collier, Ugarte, Manuel Ahmed. Feel sad. Help coach. Don't go mad. Yeah, but look, you know what? Lost half the team in a week. It's a joke. Yeah. Who's going to blame Erik ten Hag now? That's one thing I want to say. Because I remember last year that, you know, with all these injuries occurring and stuff like that, wasn't it Erik ten Hag who was thrown into the who was blamed? Who was blamed? It was Erik ten Hag who was, you know, his training methods. Look, I've been saying for a long time that Man United's a medical team need to look at. They need to look at the same medical team that passed Mason Mount's medical. The same medical team. We need to have a look at those people there. Instead of sacking certain people, we need to look at that medical team right there, because the injuries at Man United are astronomical. They seem to happen conveniently, you know, at this time of year when the going gets tough and you got the Europa League, you got the FA Cup, you got the league. And you know what? It just seems a bit of a coincidence. I don't know. But you know what? Man United seem to get these really long-term injuries, not just injuries, long-term injuries. Do you know what I mean? That are months, not weeks, months, you know, and maybe we're just one of the most unluckiest team in the world. But one thing I would say is, I said before about the silver lining, about you know, how we can bring a positive out of this. Look, we can't do anything about it. We can sit here, we can cry, we can moan and stuff like that. But that is not going to help the cause. What we can say is that, look, we got some great young players coming through, some very good young players coming through. And you know what? We should be a little bit more positive about that. We've been banging the drum about these young players for a very long time now. Lots of people have been saying, oh, you know what, Chido should play, Kone should play. Well, here's the opportunity of those players. Here's the opportunity for those players to start starting for Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion. So let's see what happens. Our hopes are utter shambles. Life is anxiety making me trembles. You got to be a little bit more positive, GK. We've come from adversity before. We've got to be a little bit more. Long way to go, Amram and the United fans out. A long way to go for Amram and the United fans out. Yeah, long way to go. But one thing I would say, you know what? Listen, guys, the art to winning, right? The art to winning in life in general, in everything in life, is not to look at things and think, just give up. I'm never going to do that, especially as a Man United fan. You know, I'm not going to do that. I'll never give up. Some people call me delusional. You can call me what you like, but one thing I would say is that never give up and just never give in. And that quote from Alex Ferguson always resonated with me. They never give in. They never gave up. When we won the treble, we never gave in. We never gave up. And you know, we should never give up. And I believe in the youth coming through. I've always done that as a Man United fan. The fabric of Man United is obviously youth, courage and success. And this is something that we practice every single day. This is why we've had a youth player in the team for the last, 80 years or so. You know, and in the squad. And I would say that we got a great young bunch of players coming through. And you know what? How do you know that one of those players is not going to grab his opportunity today and you know, become a superstar? You never know. And you know what? It's not ideal. I know it's not ideal that our best players are getting injured, Ugarte and Mainu and, you know, Ahmad. You know, it's difficult. But what we have to do and what we have to understand is that us being very pessimistic and negative is not helping the cause. We know it's pain. We know why this has happened. We know it's because of Ineos. We know Ineos. We predicted that this was going to happen, didn't we? We predicted that we were going to get these problems. We just needed one player to get injured and that's it. And this is exactly what we've been saying about Ineos, which is why we needed to get in a likes of a Tel and the likes of, you know, an attacking midfielder just to have a cover in that team, of course, guys. But I'm positive about the youth players coming through. I believe in them. I do. And I feel like a lot of these players are going to shine. I really do. I've watched youth football. I've seen them play. I've seen the likes of the class of 92 when they're playing youth football too. And I know, you know, quality when I see it. And I do see quality in some of these players, a lot of these players. And, you know, there are players there that we might benefit coming through. We might benefit in squad-wise in regards to some of these players coming through and showing themselves, of course. But the likes of Collier, Ugarte, Mainu and Ahmad is obviously bad. You know, it is bad. And why is it happening? You know, we can't throw the blame at Ten Hag anymore. You know, this is a problem, fundamental problem that's been going on at Man United for a very, very long time, you know. And I say it's down to the physios, the medical team. I think it's down to that because that's ultimately that's where it all boils down to. And this is something that we were saying for a long time ago, of course, many of us. Absolutely. Mazaruri doesn't play a pivot, GK. He doesn't play a pivot, mate. Not replacing Rashford and Anthony. I wanted to sell Garnacho as well. Clowns run the football club. Absolutely. This is exactly what it is. The Ineos, let's not get twisted, are the ones who left us in this position. They're the ones who put us in the position. They're the ones who put us in this precarious situation. And it's something that they should have known about a long time ago because Man United are no strangers to injuries. We've had injuries for the last 2 years. I mean, in particular, the last 2 years, players, you know, at the end of the day, getting injured non-stop and not only injured, like long-term injuries. And, you know, we should have signed someone in January, whether it was a makeshift player, whether it is a player, just a 35-year-old, even bring in someone who's, you know what I mean, got a little bit of experience. You know, we could have bought in a free chance. Even I said it before the window closed, is that just bring in Pogba. Just bring him in. I know, like, he's got problems, but just sign a contract saying that, you know what, if you cause any problems, we can let you go at the switch of a button. We should have just brought in Pogba, you know what I mean, just filled up the squad, and that's it. But it is what it is now. We reap what we sow. We got what we got. And this is what Ineos have caused at the end of the day. They cried over a measly 6 million for Tell, and obviously that was telling, wasn't it? At the end of the day, big up, Randy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Fatigue causing it? No. Fatigue don't cause 3-month injuries. Greetings, Sal. Just popped in for a short while. How was your morning? Big up, Jim. Good to see you back, mate. Good to see you. Long time no see, brother. Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, mate. Absolutely. Morning, Sam P. Big up, Fanatic 8. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Just sell the club to Qatar already. I mean, at the end of the day, they're never going to sell the club to Qatar. Unfortunately, we're in that position where, you know what, as I said yesterday, that they disrespected the club in regards to Ineos, and the Glazers disrespected Qatar. Qatar came in with a great offer for Man United, and Jim facilitated them, unfortunately, and this is where we are. And this is exactly why I was talking about for the last few days about these certain fans, I call them fans in quotations, talking about backing Ineos and saying that this is not Jim's fault. Jim's walked into a mess. Oh, poor Jim. He's walked into a mess. He didn't need to walk into a mess. He didn't need to come to Man United. He could have just let Qatar buy the football club when we were there. We're going to buy the football club, for crying out loud, at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And it's them. I expected this, guys. I expected this. I actually had a feeling that this was going to happen. I had a feeling that we're going to have some sort of injury crisis. And then, you know what, we're going to go, I wish we bought some players in January. It doesn't matter what player we brought in, as long as they were experienced and someone that could fill in a gap in the squad. Look, you know what? I'm not saying that it's completely doom and gloom. We have got great conveyor belt of youngsters coming through. We have, and I'm excited about these youngsters. I would have preferred them to be brought in different circumstances. But Man United do have a number of players that are going to be coming through, playing in the squad. They have been called up today, of course, for the Tottenham game. So for the Tottenham game, there are a number of players that have been called up from the youth team, guys, from the youth team today. Those players are Chido Obi, Sekou Kone, Harry Amas, Jack Morehouse, and Elijah Harrison have been called up to the first team squad for the Tottenham Hotspur game today. Now, those players there, Jake Morehouse, I spoke about Jake Morehouse yesterday on my Twitter. I mean, he's an incredible player as well. These type of players that, might become stars, guys. You never know. They might come out there and they might absolutely smash it, and they might absolutely be, a blessing in disguise. It's like having a new signing, as they say, don't they, at the end of the day. But you know what? We never know what can happen with the young players. I don't think any of them will start. I think it will be Eriksen. It will be Fernandes. It will be Casemiro. And I think that will be it. At the end of the day, it will be Casemiro and probably Eriksen in the midfield, or Casemiro and Bruno in the midfield, playing Casemiro as a pivot, Eriksen in the 10, or Bruno in the 10. So it'd probably be like that anyway. And that is how we started off the season. Actually, we had 18 wins and 2 draws with that team, to be honest with you. But you know what? It will be Eriksen and Bruno be filling the void, definitely. I can't see him makeshifting Mazraoui into midfield and stuff like that. There's no need. Randy, the squad is not enough to survive. The squad isn't. And this is why we have to rely on youngsters, Randy. And you know what? People have been talking to me about youngsters. Everyone's been talking to me about Chido Martin, Kone. Wayne, this is their chance. How did Collier get his chance? How did Mainu get his chance? How did Garnacho get his chance? How did Rashford get his chance? This is the time. This is the time to show yourself. This is when, put everything aside. You know what? Here's your chance to prove yourself. That is what football's about. Every single footballer came from somewhere. Every footballer came from somewhere. The great players of the world, they once got their debut. They once were doubted. People once were scared to put them into the team. Now, if you understand this football club, and I hope you guys do, we come from this, the youth, courage, and success. This is what we're all about. So I don't feel too downhearted, because I knew in regards to Ineos what they did. I knew we should have brought in a couple of players, but that is where it is. It's the past. But in regards to what I don't feel downhearted about, is because I know that we got a conveyor belt of youngsters coming through, and you never know what could happen. You never know if one of those players come in and they might absolutely smash it and become an absolute superstar. Darren, we need anyone with a pulse at the moment. Oh, we got some great youngsters. I mean, Elia Harrison, of course, Chido Martin, Kone. These players are going to be stars. Trust me, they're going to be stars. And I'm excited to see one of them play. I mean, at the end of the day, I would prefer them to Ericsson and people like that. I would, that's what I would do. And let's see what happens. We might go to Tottenham today. We might not lose. You know what I mean? It might. And sometimes you feel better. You can play better with adversity. We'll have to wait and see. Sal, makes me quiet and mad. I blame the Glazers and Ineos. Both are to blame. Most of the Glazers, but Ineos are just as nasty. I don't trust them. No one trusts them, Jim. Absolutely not. And to be honest with you, people think when I was attacking them last year, I was bonkers. They thought I was bonkers, and that Jim is this, Jim is that, Jim is going to buy the club fully, which we all knew that was a lie. And we were sat here in January saying that Man United are one injury away from having problems. And lo and behold, this has happened, of course. And Ahmad and Collier and Mainu and Ugarte at the same time. You know what I mean? Well, I think Mainu's sick. He's ill. But at the same time, it was bound to happen. It was written in the stars, so to speak, wasn't it? But you know what? I'm just going to say, at the end of the day, I've been hearing a lot about Chido, OB. I've been hearing about, these young players, Kone, who's going to come through, obviously Aiden Heaven. Let's see what they do. Let's see if they can do the job. Let's see if they come through, and let's see if they become superstars for Man United. I believe in them. I believe in them. I think we should believe in them, and I think we should be confident that we got a good conveyor belt of young players. Let's not forget, this under-18 teams are breaking records, guys. They're breaking records. Let's see what they can do in this team now. Let's see what they can do. You never know. One might come in, two might come in and absolutely tear it apart and be brilliant. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens, of course. I sense the fans are starting to turn on Ineos. No one believes in their goal of winning a title in 28. No, mate, one thing I've learned, Mac, about life and about football is that you never give away your secrets, and you never talk about what you're going to do, because generally you get thrown flat on your face. You get slapped in the face, because when you plan things, like you plan ahead, we're going to do this into 2028. Didn't England say they're going to win the World Cup in 2022? Wasn't it that? They said they were going to win the World Cup in 2022. I mean, when you plan things, you give away your secrets. At the end of the day, you don't talk, you do. And I've always believed in that. You don't talk, you do. You don't put a time frame on it, because at the end of the day, Man United should be challenging for league titles every single year. I know we're not ready, but you don't need to say 2028 is going to be our time. Yes, that's going to be project this, project that. It's all a bunch of kerfuffle, in my opinion. It's all rubbish, splurt garbage. At the end of the day, we want now. We want what you're going to do now. Forget about what's going to happen in 2028. We want what's going to happen now. We don't want to know what's going to happen in 2028. Winners don't expose these things anyway. Winners don't need to talk about what they're going to do. They talk about what they are doing. Do you know what I mean? At the moment. And that is Ineos, to be honest, to a T. It makes me angry, Sal, that the greedy Glazers have taken 1 billion plus from Radcliffe Ineos and pocketed the money instead of paying off the debt. There you go. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And to be honest with you, we had an opportunity to sell this football club to Qatar. It didn't happen. And there you go. That's the Glazers for you. The Glazers could have easily said, right, that billion I've got from Ineos, I'm going to pull it into the football club and I'm going to pay off the debt. It's going to be great for Man United, because then we'll free up space on FFP. And you know what? We could buy players. We could bring players in. But they don't care about the football club. They don't care about the football club. They don't care. They're just Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what they are. That's where they need to be. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's why Champions League shouldn't be in America. That's why World Cup shouldn't be in America. They don't love the game like we go. They don't understand the fabric of the game like we do. And that is no insult to them, but they don't. It's a bit like the Super Bowl being in England. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they don't understand this football club. And the Glazers have been at our football club just as an opportunist. That's what they were there for. They were just opportunists at this football club. That's all they are. It's just a bunch of opportunists who said, oh, Manchester United, you know, they make this much money. You know what I mean? And it was a biggest mistake. It was what Alex Ferguson did, I mean, that tarnished a part of his historical legacy because of the Glazers. You know what I mean? The Glazers, because the Glazers have been a 20 years now. 20 years. In 6 more years, they'll be here just as long as Alex Ferguson was at this football club. Put that in perspective. And to be honest, they don't have any sign in leaving this football club. There's no sign in them leaving this football club at the moment, sadly. Jim the Rat didn't buy Manu to save, and now he's looting the club. He's looting the club, Randy. We could have told them that a long time ago. Do you know what I mean? We said it last season about, you know what? Stop being so naive. You know, Ineos are not about that. They're not here for the football. They're here to make money. They're here to strip down the club and make money. That's what they're here to do. This is why they didn't back Ruben Amorim in January. Ruben Amorim's first transfer window, they brought in one player, but they got rid of three: Malastia, Anthony, and Rashford. You know, we are worse off now than we were at the start of the transfer window. How is that even possible? How is it even possible? It makes me laugh, man. It really does. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, to be honest with you. What is our midfield today? I heard most of the midfielders are out. Spurs probably running over our midfield. What's going to be? You know what it's going to be, Almac. You know, I would bring in a young player, but you know what? I think the midfield will be either Casemiro, Eriksen with Bruno and Garnacho in that attacking area, or it could be a Bruno and Casemiro with a Garnacho and Eriksen in number 10. Obviously, Højlund or Xerxes up front. Let's not forget that Xerxes can play as a number 10 as well. Xerxes played there before, so he can play in that position as well. So it'd probably be something like that. A little bit worried about Casemiro and Eriksen in the middle. It's a little bit slow, if you ask me, to be honest with you. But it just seems like a coincidence that Ugarte gets injured at the same time, you know. And I mean, Ugarte, Collier, and Mainu at the same time. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, guys. I mean, you know, and people were blaming Erik ten Hag. Do you remember people were blaming Erik ten Hag for the training routine, for the injuries that Man United keep getting? Remember that? Madness. Jim, Ineos are 12 billion in debt, and they are a legal battle with New Zealand Rugby. Yep. And what I keep an eye on this out is something major could happen with them. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I would say, Jim, and they are very, very bad. They're very bad. And you know what? I tend to look at things from a football perspective, you know, and what happened with the All Blacks and, you know, the rugby team, you know, it's just it's an example of what they are. It's just an example of what they are. But you also look at their football reputation, and you look at the likes of Nice, and you look at Lausanne in Switzerland, and you look at what they're doing for those clubs. Now, some people could turn around and say, oh, but Nice are 5th or 6th in the French league. That's not too bad. But then you look at what the French league is. The French league is one team. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, underneath that, it's like a championship. You know, what have they done in France? Have they won them a title? At the end of the day, it's not too hard to win a title in France in reality. Do you know what I mean? If you put some money into the club, you probably have a chance of winning the title in France, you know? When the likes of Lyon, Olympique Lyonnais are still better than the likes of Nice. Do you know what I mean? They're still better, and they're still producing better players, and they're still doing better. Why are Nice not getting on that level? Why is that? Because they're run by absolute frauds. That is exactly what it is. Now, I wouldn't, Darren, Maz is not a midfielder. I wouldn't put Maz in midfield, mate. He's not a midfielder. Morning, Sal, and everyone. Hope you're doing well. What do you think your score will be today? Not feeling too optimistic, if I'm being honest. I'll be honest, Grayo. You know what? I'll be honest. You know, sometimes when I've watched, big up Grayo, by the way, legend, of course. One thing I would say about adversity, you know, you can take adversity two ways. You can take it as, oh my goodness, doom and gloom, or you can take adversity as, you know what, let's use this as fuel to our fire, and let's prove people wrong that we can still go out there and get a result today. Unfortunately, these players that we have currently do not have that kind of mindset, you know, but sometimes when you have this adversity, things seem to turn in your favor because there's less expectation for some reason. I've been hearing for months and weeks about young players, about Chido Obi, about Harrison, about Shia Lacey, about these players coming through the ranks. I've been hearing a lot about Kone and players like that. Now is the time to show us what you're made of. This is the time. This is what we can do. We can either sit here and we can say, you know what, it's doom and gloom. We're not gonna do anything now. It's over. The season's over. Or what we can do is say, look, we got some great young players coming through. Maybe it's a chance for them to show themselves. Maybe it's a chance they can shine. You know what I mean? And we got no choice but to play them now. Obviously, Mainu will be back. Mainu, I think he's sick. He's going to be back. But you know what? I just feel like, you know, this season needs to end. I mean, I can't wait till this season is over. To be honest with you, it's been an absolute disaster. And I just can't wait till the next season starts. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Ineos back Ruben Amorim. Hopefully they're back Ruben Amorim. But great that we're hearing about protests. It's great that obviously 1958 have organised a protest for the 9th of March against Arsenal. And that would be great. You know what I mean? That'd be fantastic. But you know what? We need a monumental effort, definitely. Rasta, all I want is experimentation. Pick an 11 that's going to work. All I want, no experiment. Yeah, that's all we all want at the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up. Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't know what formation is going to work, do we? We don't know what formation is going to work. You can say we want a formation that works. What is the formation that's going to work? We don't know that, do we? At the end of the day, we don't know what formation is going to work. Absolutely. It's a pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. What I would say in regards to that. Today will prove if Amram actually is a good coach or tactician. If he goes with two midfield, he discarded due to the lack of physicality, intensity it shows. He's not a fraud, mate. He's done it in the Champions League. He's built up players. I would say, George, I know that you have a bit of doubts about him, but at the end of the day, you can't make Peter Crouch turn into Ronaldinho, mate. You can't make like, you know what I mean, Ian Dowie turn into R9. You can't do that. As you can take the cows to the river doesn't mean they're going to drink for the river. You know, you can't make a guy who's 3 foot tall become a goalkeeper. You can't do it. At the end of the day, if you ain't got the players, he can't do it. He can try his best, but even, you know, if you haven't got the players, you can't just expect them to play miracles, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jim, what I'm trying to say is that rugby issue, their chemical business and sponsorship might be the start of their downfall. We hope so. We hope so. That's all we can say. Yeah. The problem is, Darren, is that, you know what's going to happen, isn't it? You know, Man United went and we're getting docked points and we're not getting relegated. That's the problem. A lot of people I know went to the protest a few years ago who got arrested, who got criminal records. And it's such a shame that we have to do that. But it's the only way forward, unfortunately. Otherwise, we sit here and we do nothing, isn't it? It's the only way forward, in my opinion. Big up, Jim, by the way. Big up, Darren. Sal. Big up, UK Rap. Big up, brother. Big up, of course. Sal, I've been watching the under-21s. There's some great talent. Chido, Amas, Fletcher. Absolutely, brother. We all know this season is finished for us in the league, so give the boys a bloody chance. Absolutely, Gro. This is exactly what I've been saying. You know what? I've been sitting on this channel all year, and people have been telling me how great Chido is, how great Harry Amas is, how great Fletcher, how great Kone. This is the opportunity for them to prove themselves. Now, this is the chance. They're good, right? They're good, right? Let's play them then. Let's see what they can do. It's better than people are talking about. Let's play the right team. Let's play the right team. But then say play Mazruri in midfield. Doesn't make sense. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we play players in a specialized position, bring through some youngsters, you know what I mean, and just see what happens at the end of the day. The league is over for us, as you said, Grail. The league is over. We're not going to do anything in this league. We're not going to get relegated. We're not going to win Champions League qualification. We're not going to get European qualification. The basket is the Europa League at the end of the day. So try new things. Why not? Because at the end of the day, we have to. We have to. And bring through some young players at the end of the day. I think we are going to get hammered. Our midfielder Ericsson Casper has no mobility. We always have. I mean, yeah, I would play youngsters, Armac. I would. That's what I would do. But I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. Crouch Ronaldinho, what an Andrew, brilliant point. People understand football, know, innit? People understand football, know that you can't make a League One team play like Prime Barcelona. If you haven't got the players, you're not going. That's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. You need players that fit you as a fit. You can get the odd result, for example, in a club that has less expectation than Manchester United. You can get the odd result here and there, and people can sing your praises and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I see people singing David Moyes' praises. For God's sake, he's part of the reason we're here right now. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and you know what? At the end of the day, some managers fit certain teams, smaller teams, less expectation. Some players fit smaller teams, less expectation. Some players can play in certain formations. Some players can't play in certain formations. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and that is what it is. I read this week that the rugby issues are their chemicals from news sources. Just reporting to you what I read. Yeah, this has been since last week, brother. Last week, this was reported. This was reported last week, brother. I reported it on Stretford Post, mate, on Chatterbox. No, on the Breaking Dawn a few days ago. Please hit the like and subscribe button, guys. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, Grow. Yes, we are literally 700 and something away from our 8,000. Where ultimate goal is 10,000. Then we go from there, and we can see where we can take this channel, guys. We could take this channel anywhere we want to be. And I want to thank everyone who's joined me every single day, of course. Risky to play youngsters in a struggling team. I mean, at the end of the day, what do you do? Or you play players in different positions and players that haven't worked anyway. You could do that. We've been losing at Ericsson already. You know, we've been losing with Casemiro already. Why don't we play some of these youngsters? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's risky. But you know what? Only winners take risks, Randy. Let me tell you that. I've taken many risks in my life, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And, you know, I've taken big risks. Flying to Detroit, things like that. Filming videos in the middle of the 8 Mile and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Taking risks and stuff like that. You know, life is about risks. That is what it's about. And at the end of the day, we're only winners take risks. That's what I would say. Big up, Grayo. You big up, brother. Big up, Jim and Bliss. Absolutely. Big up yourself. Big up, of course. Saying used to work miracles with some average players when the injuries hit. He used to get players to fill in. He did, but that was a different mentality at that football club. The players that we had were better, far better. Far better. You can even take it back to the likes of Wes Brown, who could play centre back and right back. John O'Shea, who could play centre back, right back, left back, midfield. You know, Darren Fletcher, who could play in defence or who could play in the midfield. You know, we had many players in that team that can play in various positions. You know what I mean? Various positions. Loads of players. And that is a key to success, because when we're bringing in players in the future, we need to get players that are playing various positions, so that when we get problems like this kind of thing could be diverted. You know, like for example, Dorgu can play left wing back, can play right wing back, probably play centre back as well. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so that's what we need to look at. That what Alex Ferguson did. Alex Ferguson was completely different, and he was at the football club a long time and was given an opportunity to stay at the football club. He was there 4 years before he won a trophy. You know what I mean? And what people have to understand is that patience is a virtue, and patience is for winners as well at the end of the day. Just like we were saying with Eric Ten Hag. Big up, Stanley. How are many players getting injured in training? There is more to it than what meets the eye. Yeah, well, Stanley, what were people saying last season? It was Ten Hag's fault. It was Ten Hag's fault. It was all Ten Hag's fault. You know what I mean? And that was what we were hearing last season. I've said from the beginning of last season and many, many years now, our medical team have an issue. Our physio medical team are the problem. We need a new medical department. That is what we need. Because those same medical department passed Mason Mount's medical to sign for Man United. That same medical team passed at the end of the day. Greetings, big up everyone, of course. Sal, I've been so impressed with Harry Mass, and I can't wait for the life of me understand why he's not been given a chance. Same with Cheeto. Let's be honest, we have nothing to lose. Grayo, you know what? Spoken like a proper Man United fan. Do you know what I mean? Proper Man United fan. This is what I'm talking about. You've seen things, and you the way you talk proves that you've seen things. I've seen things, you've seen things, that when the youngsters are given a chance, they seldom let you down. Who said that? Sir Alex Ferguson said that. So it's time that we gave some of these guys a chance. You know what I mean? Not ideal, not the perfect situation, but at the end of the day, the league is over. You know what I mean? We might as well try. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, only winners take risks. As I've always said, guys, only winners take risks, of course. Of course, guys. Outside, is it better Everton has scored more goals than our striker since Moyes came than Mamouche scoring more than one game in striker September? Writing of the season is a no. Well, what can we do, mate? We're owned by the Glazers and we're owned by Ineos, innit? We could have got Omar Mamouche. Let's not forget who talked about Omar Mamouche. I said Omar Mamouche a few weeks ago, months ago, guys, and we didn't get him, did we? At the end of the day, we're owned by Ineos and we're owned by the Glazers. So at the end of the day, this is what we are. You know, this is what we are. They wrote off the season. We didn't want to write off the season. They wrote off the season. Now this season, it's literally impossible to qualify for the Champions League. Literally impossible to qualify for the Europa League. You know what? The only thing we have to worry about a little bit is the relegation. We didn't put ourselves there. Ineos and the Glazers put ourselves there from the beginning, the way they've run this football club down to the ground. Now, look, at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim is a fantastic manager and we need to support the manager. We need to support the manager. Let's stop turning on the manager with the same bum players that we've had for the last few years, okay? Let's stop doing that because it's not working. It's a low IQ football opinion. It is, at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We need to understand that this is not a quick fix. Man United are not Man City. Man United are not Everton. Everton have got their own expectations. Man United expectations are here. Everton's are down there. So they can win the odd game. They have no pressure. They have no pressure, so they can win the odd game. Man United is different. Man United is different. We're trying to build a dynasty, and by doing that, we're going to feel pain. We're going to suffer. Ruben Amorim said it before we played his first game. We're going to suffer. But in the long term, as long as your vision remains up there, you know what I mean? You just have to remain patient. Catamir and Ericsson midfield mostly. I think Kenny, I agree. I think it will be. But you know what? We have nothing to lose anyway. You know what, Kenny? The league's over. What I would say is that, you know what, we could play the couple of young players, bring them in after half an hour to go, 15 minutes to go. We could do that as well. Do you know what I mean? There's many things we can do, of course. Let's wait and see, guys. But I'm not going to be too downbeat. If we lose, we lose, but I'm not going to be too downbeat. Life's too short to be like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. What I want us to do is our boys to win the game, rip it up and play blood and sweat and passion. Give all the all for the jersey. I know the league has gone. It's all up for pride now. Win the Europa. Absolutely, Jim. Thank you very much, Jim. Very good one. Very good comment, Jim. Thank you, brother. Big up everyone. Big up, of course. Big up legends, of course, in the chat, guys. De Gea was right. The club is cursed. Yeah, well, maybe we need to get a Mulvey in there and start praying over the pitch. Praying over the pitch. Why don't we do that? Why don't we get some divine inspiration and bring in a priest, some Mulvey Saab or someone of that nature to pray over the pitch? Why don't we do that? Maybe we might become successful again. But you know what? Wasn't it Jose Mourinho's physio said that we're going to be cursed? Any club that Jose Mourinho manages, they're going to be cursed. Chelsea, Man United. You can't win everything with kids. Really? Absolutely. We were there, Grayo. We were there when he said that. Some of these people weren't born. We were there when he said that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And you can't win anything with kids, apparently. The only argument I would have for that is that we had Schmeichel, obviously Irwin, Keane, Cantona, Giggs, Cole, Bruce, in that team. But one thing I would say is that we can't go much wrong than we are right now. We can't be much worse than we are right now by playing a couple of those youngsters who are absolutely breaking records in the youth team, guys. Absolutely breaking records in the youth team at the moment. So we can't go much wrong with that, can we? We need to be a little bit more zealous, in my opinion. A little bit more positive, a little bit more. Just the game is today, guys. Let's get to it. Tottenham are shit. Let's go. Absolutely. Let's go. African style what? African style what? I'm not sure if it's African style. I don't know. I don't believe in. I believe in black magic, actually, to be honest with you. But I know that there's I know how to conquer that, and it's not African hoodoo on the pitch and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we're going to get some dolls and start stabbing dolls on the pitch or something. What's going on there? Absolutely not. Yeah, get a Mulvey or a priest. That's what we need. Absolutely. African cleansing. No, thank you, Randy. We're good. Thank you, man. I think it came from Pogba, didn't it? He's African at the end of the day, guys. Look, we're good. Well, a Mulvey or priest would be good. Absolutely. Jim, I just pray and hope that Ineos and sell our youth and negative talk stop. We're going to nurture the Garnachos and Mainers of this world. Selling the youth and keeping the old guard is nonsense. I agree, Jim. Absolutely, wholeheartedly agree with that, mate. I do agree with that. Absolutely. Agree with that. Yeah, I firmly agree with that. Firmly agree with that. Big up, Jim. Big up yourself. Absolutely. Guys, let me just go into a little bit of news about a target that Man United are going after in the summer. A player that is on the radar is a player called Danny Vivian. Danny Vivian is a centre-back who has 8 caps for Spain. Danny Vivian is 25 years old and he plays for Athletic Bilbao, guys. His contract expires on 2032. It's a very long contract, which is why his release clause is around 40 million euros. Danny Vivian has been interesting, capturing the attention of Ineos over the last few weeks and months with his stellar performances for Athletic Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao, of course, in the Europa League alongside Manchester United, and the Europa League final will be played in Bilbao. So, you know what? They are through. Bilbao are going to be a threat to Manchester United going forward. So Bilbao, you know what, are a decent side. And Danny Vivian is a player that Manchester United are interested in. Interested FC. I know what you're going to say. I read you like a book. But Manchester United have Danny Vivian on their radar at the moment. 25-year-old Spanish international, 8 caps for Spain, centre-back, right-footed, 40 million euros. That is the news breaking in regards to Danny Vivian, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Absolutely. Big up, Jim. Big up my brother. Big up yourself. Sal, it was such a wonderful time. We won the trophies with pure style, class, and above all hunger. We didn't rely on a multi-billionaire funding this club. I doubt we won't see that again, Grayo. You know one thing, I said it exactly. You're spot on, Grayo. The feelings that we had, Grayo, you know, only if you were there, you can really feel it, how it felt. It was exciting to watch Man United. It was a pleasure. We had so much fun, you know, and to be honest with you, especially when you think about the class of 92 and you think about it weren't all plain sailing, was it, Grayo? At the end of the day, we lost the first game to Aston Villa. We squeezed past West Ham. I think it was 2-1 at Old Trafford on the Wednesday. And then we played Blackburn. And then that's when I thought, you know what? This team's got something, you know. They beat Blackburn away 2-1. And Blackburn back then were the champions. And we beat Blackburn 2-1. And that's when I thought, you know what, this team, we got something going on here. And then I don't know if you remember the game against Bolton at Old Trafford when, we were passing it around the ground and passing it and doing all these, I think it was 30 passes before we got the ball to Giggs and Giggs scored, or was it Hughes? And I was looking at this, bloody hell, we got some good young players here. You never know what can happen. It's never going to be like it was because obviously that we did have Peter Schmeichel, Cantona, Giggs, Cole, King, you know what I mean, Bruce and players, Irwin, of that nature. But there's no reason why, we can't bring through some players and, you know what, they could be like a new signing kind of thing. I hate saying that, but it can be like a new signing. Do you know what I mean? That could quite possibly happen. You know what I mean? And that only happens if you take risks. You know what I mean? Life is about risks. You know, being in the music, Grayo, you know about the risks you have to take, don't you? You know how many risks you have to take. Being an entrepreneur, working for a record label, being a musician, being anything in an articulate field is a risk. You know what I mean? And think people like me and you, Grayo, we've been through those risks. You know what I mean? We know about risk and we know how it can benefit you in the future. And we know that, you know what I mean, you're better off trying something than just falling into the conforming into the norm, you know, of what everyone else is doing. That's what I always believe. And I've always believed as a kid from Leytonstone in a 1-bedroom flat, me, 5 of us, you know what I mean? Without a pot to piss in, I've always believed. I ended up working with platinum selling artists because I believed and I have this positivity around things that anything can happen at any given time. And that is exactly what Man United did, you know, in the past. And, you know, that is where we come from. We came from the Munich disaster in 1958 to winning the FA Cup in 1963, to winning the league title in 1965, to winning the European Cup for the first English club to do so in 1968. You know what? And that is what I would say about belief. That is what this Man United team is all about. That is what we are all about at the end of the day, guys. That is what I would say. And this is why I will always believe in this football club, regardless of what we're owned by, the mess that we're in, etc. We come from great adversities. And I think that a lot of these players need to be inspired and not burdened by these adversities, because at the end of the day, that is who we are and that is where we came from. And that's how I would say that, guys, respectfully. We let a headless chicken or pig run on the field. Fucking no, you just need a bit of a religion, mate, a proper religion. Then Man United, what happened to Chatterboxes? Is it coming back? Yes, it is coming back, Jim. It is coming back. I'm just been a bit crazy this last few days in regards to my evenings are not being as free as they were. Obviously I manage a youth team over here, and we've been playing a lot of football, and I haven't been available, so I haven't been able to do it. But that's cleared now. Next week it will clear. As of tomorrow, it will clear. So Chatterbox will be back. Of course, Chatterbox will be back. Chatterbox is the pioneer show of this channel, by the way. It was the show that originally launched this channel. And yeah, it will be back, of course. I'm also planning to do some other shows as well, mate. Definitely as well coming forward. I want to obviously build this channel up to its level, of course. Every time I was the last manager, I allowed my emotionally invested. Now I'm an objective and only focus on tactics and games. Man, manager, that's your choice, brother. That's your choice. But lie. People lie, but numbers and honest are honest. Sometimes numbers can be manipulative, just like stats. Then you can manipulate stats and you can manipulate the situation. You have to look at life in context, mate. You have to look at the situation. Don't just take your past. Don't paint everything with the same brush. Your past are not now. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can be haunted by the past, or you can say we learn from it and we move on. At the end of the day, no, we don't get too emotionally involved with anyone. It's not emotional like that. We're emotionally involved with Manchester United. That's what emotionally involved in. But what's going to make Manchester United turn into the Manchester United that we want? Manchester United turn into Manchester United that we want is not going to be sacking managers like we've done for the last 11 years, because that hasn't worked, has it? At the end of the day. So what we need to do, we need to show a bit of patience to a very, very good manager who is wanted by various clubs around Europe. And what we need to do is support him. Now, that is up to Ineos. We can have any manager in charge right now, Ancelotti and Pep Guardiola, Klopp. At the end of the day, they're going to do the same with this bunch of players if they're not backed. At the end of the day, Klopp was given a chance to get rid of all these players, get rid of every single player. He had the likes of Konchesky in his team and John Joe Shelby. He managed to get rid of those. He was allowed to get rid of those. And what we need is an ownership like that. The biggest problem at Man United is the ownership. Whilst we have this black, dark cloud hovering over the football club, we're going to get the same rubbish going on over and over again, guys. Big up, Grail. Big up, bro. Big up. 100%. Absolutely. Big up. That's okay, Sal. When Chatterboxes are back, I'm ready to take care. Absolutely. Big up, Jim. You need our support. You big up. Thank you, Jim, for your support every single day, my friend. Thank you very much. Absolutely. So yes, we have to believe. I'll never forget crying my eyes out in 1976 when we lost to Southampton in the FA Cup final. Yeah, ecstasy in 76 we beat Liverpool. We stopped them winning the treble, didn't we, Grayo? We stopped them winning the treble, and yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't born. I was born in 19. Well, I'm not going to give my age, but I was born around that time. But you know what? I would say that what I've done over the years, and especially when I started supporting this football club, is that I always studied the football club and I learned where we come from. The adversities from 1974, the relegation, of course, we got relegated. Let's not forget about that. Now, people are talking about emotional or being emotionally involved in Man United and not being emotionally involved. I've never emotionally involved in managers. I've never been that. I was never emotionally involved in Erik ten Hag. I was basically being constructive with Erik ten Hag and putting things in context. Exactly what I'm doing right now with Amarim. I'm not a flip flop and I'm not a hypocrite. At the end of the day, I measure things how they should be measured, and I look at things how they should be, how teams succeed. The difference between me and you, Gray, is that we've actually seen things develop like that. We've seen things happen like that. We've seen changes and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. And that's what I would say. Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Tommy Doherty have made us an incredible team. If he hadn't been sacked, the team we had then, Pearson, Her, Koppel, McElroy, Greenhoff, Buchan, Macari, absolutely. Grayo, what I would say about Lou Macari, I was talking about legends the other day to someone. I was talking about what makes a Manchester United legend, Graham? What makes a Manchester United legend? Like, you know what? Who is a Manchester United legend? You know, is Makari a Manchester United legend, or is he a great? What's the difference between a Manchester United legend and a great? What's the difference? And I was getting into. I think it's a very interesting conversation because obviously Man United legends are like Bobby Moore, Bobby Charlton, obviously Dennis Law, George Best, Eric Cantona, David Beckham, Paul Scholes. Obviously, the team won the treble and stuff like that. Obviously, that is a legendary team. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what is a legend in your eyes? What is a legend, and what is a great? Because I argued that at the end of the day, Makari was a great, but wasn't a legend. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I want to know, of course. Goes to George. So, what do you think about somebody saying Amram is a defensive coach at United worse than Marino? I doubted his categorically until analysis showed me some truth. United changed him. At the end of the day, I'm not going to judge him until he's got his team in there. Goes to George. That's it. And when I see his team in there, when I see his players in there that play a unique style of football, let's not forget he plays a unique style of football that requires his own players. And he doesn't have that at the moment, right? So what we're going to do, it's not his fault that these players have lower IQ. We can either keep a different manager, get a simplified style of football, a David Moyes type manager, where we will never win anything. Right, we will never win anything. Or we can get Ruben Amorim and be patient and wait till we get his players that suit his system, and then in the future, we may have more chance of doing it. Rather than doing things the same thing over and over again, it's insanity. That's what we're doing. We're trying to promote insanity. That's what we're promoting. Let's sack a manager again. Let's get another manager in. Let's get a manager. Again, he's going to want his own style of football. Again, he's got his own style of football. This and that. And then eventually we're just going to end up in the doldrums and then getting flipping relegated. But like this, because we got to have an element of solidarity with the manager. And we got to understand that this is not at the end of the day. Jim. Met a certified Liverpool fan the other day. He claims that we won it would take us 29 years to get back on the top. I said that we will be a few years. I disagree with them. Let them talk, Jim. Let them talk because that's what they think. I don't think so. I don't think he's talking facts. He's talking out of hatred. He's not talking about logic. Some people talk at the fact of an emotional side of things. So when people, fans like Liverpool fans and stuff like that talk, they don't talk on an educational level. They talk on a emotional level. That it's what they want. It's not what they think. It's basically what they think is going to happen is completely different to what they want. That is what they want. That's not what they think. They hope that we go all them many years. One Premier League title in 30 odd years will never be that. Trust me. I mean, touch wood at the end of the day. Graham. These weren't legends in my eyes, but the team had played just a gel. It was a great. Absolutely. I agree. And that's exactly the point that I was making, Graham. Absolutely. I think that's absolutely spot on. I think they were good players, great players for Manchester United. And every single player in our history led us up to the success that we ended up becoming, of course, at the end of the day. He does have a plan B, Darren. We're just refusing to see it. These players don't have it. These players just don't have it. They don't have that at the end of the day. If you study the game properly, you would see that he does have a plan B. But people are just watching a game, not studying the game. I mean, at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Jim. Big up, Jim. But if you want a legend for the club, that's Alex Stepney is a legend. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I go by that. Absolutely. UK rap. He does have a plan B. Players must not have the IQ. Spot on. You know what I mean? He's played. If you've been watching the games intensively, like you've been playing a 4-4-2. He's also played a 4-3-3. He's changed the team around. He's done that as well. At the end of the day. And then you need to look at the players, Darren, because at the end of the day, these players didn't work under Eric Ten Hag either, did they? You know what I mean? So there you go. And what I find it very bewildering that a team that can go toe to toe with Liverpool, beat Man City, beat Arsenal with 10 men, you know what I mean, find it difficult to beat the likes of Brighton and Wolves and Crystal Palace. That's a mentality thing. That's the players at the end of the day. And to be honest with you, if they can go toe to toe with Liverpool and that, why can't they do it against that at the end of the day? And that's what I would say. We can go play B where we can just go and get Gareth Southgate. Why don't we do that? Absolutely. If I'm Ruben Ammer, I keep playing the system. I believe it's these players are the footballers who should be adapt to the formation. It shows me it's absolutely good, not enough, no passion and hunger. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Very, very important point. You know what I mean? People are blaming the managers just the IQ, you know what I mean, of this much. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's what they do. We hold managers accountable once they got their own system and their own players in charge. At the club, and at the moment he hasn't. And I will wait. I'd rather wait to. Rather than judging a manager after a few months, I would rather wait. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. Absolutely, I'm not going to do that. Goals for George is an emotional wreck. You don't watch football. There you go, goals for George. There's one for you, mate. Let me just read this one out. Playing 7 of 3 days not to make the team score more goals, relying on individual brilliance and moments. And that has been happening for how many years? That has been happening for how many years? We were minus goal difference under Eric Ten Hag. Let's not forget that. So who's that? Is that Eric Ten Hag's fault? Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? That happened under Eric Ten Hag. Yeah, I mean, you guys like got a PSD. What is it? It's got a PTSD, whatever it's called. At the end of the day, just writing this tweet, guys. Yeah. So, yeah. Come on, guys. No arguing in the stream, guys. No arguing in the stream. Falling for the same rubbish, planting the seed. I agree with that. People are planting in the stream and go, not arguing the stream. But at the end of the day, I'm not turning against the manager. I'm not, and the majority of the fan base are not either, because that is just insanity at the end of the day. He does have a plan B. You're not just watching the football. You're not watching a football game. You're just looking with your glasses. He's not playing the formation. Oh my God, he's not playing the formation. He's only got one formation. You're just looking at the result. You're not looking at the actual problem and looking things in context. Absolutely. Darren talks shit. God blimey. Sal, going back to sleep now. Big up, Gray. I hope you're doing well. Big up yourself. Take it easy. I hope we see you again. I'll see you later on for the watch along. Absolutely, mate. Hopefully it's a good one. Absolutely. Hopefully it's a good one. Guys, I've been watching this game for 40 years. I've seen a lot of ups and downs. I've seen a lot of bad. I've seen a lot of good. I've been watching Man United for a very long time. Been through over nearly 600 games or something like that. And to be honest with you, when I talk, I don't just talk from an emotional point of view. A lot of people talk from an emotional point of view because they don't like the manager and they don't like, they liked Eric Ten Hag and they don't, at the end of the day, this is what it is. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you can't change people the way they think. And I wouldn't do that. But what I would do, I'm backing this manager all the way. And no one's going to stop me from backing this manager. And at the end of the day, I'm watching the game. I study every game. I talk about every game without Google in front of me, without statistics and things like that. Stats can be misleading at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? It's too much. Yeah, you know what? You guys have been there too many. You won't be happy until we get Gareth Southgate, guys, because we're heading towards that direction at the end of the day. Fuck this channel, not talking crap. Who taking crap? Who's taking crap, Darren? Can't you take a little bit of I thought you could take a little bit of argy bargy here and there, Darren. What's going on? Why are you upset, mate? Why are you upset? Someone is saying something that's different to you. That's just opinion at the end of the day. That's what it is. You're just crying over nothing, mate. Come on, Darren. Come on, Darren. This channel's not about crybabies, mate. Come on, man. Absolutely. Did you see the manager's press conference? Yes, I did. I saw it, and it was Rasta. It was very telling. It was very telling at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it was very telling. I saw Ruben Amorim all the way. I clearly see his vision. He is an attacking-minded manager. Once he gets the absolutely, you see, like Jim, you know, absolutely, big up, Jim. But you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. At the end of the day, who's giving you crap, Darren? I'm not giving you crap. I'm giving you your opinion. I haven't said anything to you. Who's giving you crap? UK. Real grabs, all right. Look, at the end of the day, we all have a passionate opinion about football. That's all it is at the end of the day. And I don't condone anyone, by the way, taking swipes at anyone. Make it constructive. Make the opinion constructive. Don't make it, otherwise you'll get blocked. Darren, not Darren, UK rap. Yeah. Don't swear at anyone. Don't give anyone any. Look, Darren, if he does it again, I'll block him. Okay, mate. Block him. UK rap, you've been warned, mate. People have differences of opinion. That is what it is at the end of the day. You need to accept it. At the end of the day, look, what I would say is this, right? We're all Man United supporters and we want the best for this football club. That's what I say. I got a lot of love for Darren. Darren's been here from day one, right? So I've got a lot of respect for Darren. So UK rap, fix up, mate. Fix up. Guys. It's madness. It does get a little bit heated, guys. You know what? What a couple of negative things can do for the football club, eh? A lot of obviously argy bargy over here, man. Oh, argy bargy. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm in Ruben Amorim's camp, and I will carry on supporting him. I'm done with sacking managers. I mean, he makes mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. Of course, he's going to make mistakes. He's a new manager. And to be honest with you, Man United, way before he came into the football club, have been in an absolute shambles, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be great, GK, but we're not in for him, unfortunately. We're in for the other player, Dani Vivian. We're in for him, mate. We're not in for him. Not yet, anyway. We're not in for him yet, anyway. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. Guys, thank you, everyone who's joined me today. Please don't take it personally. This is only a football chat, by the way, guys. We're all buddies over here, man. Take it easy. Have a great day. Look, I'm doing a watch along later on. There's no Chatterbox. I'm doing a watch along later on. Please join me for that, and we can tear the bones out of the performance over then and stuff like that, and we can talk about what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, and stuff like that. Whatever it is, guys. Thank you, everyone who's joined me. Absolutely, and have a great day. Absolutely, best you, Jim. Big up yourself. And don't worry about it. It's just football, isn't it? Take it easy, guys. See you later. Peace.